This entire situation has been less of a legal fight and more of a psychological operation, like what I learned from my time in the military. Not through my MOS, but through outside training. The reason why this is working right now is because I'm doing a three-pronged or four-pronged approach depending on how you're looking at it. So first off, the cops came at me super hard. They were retaliating like monsters and attacked me and my daughter at the pool that day in an attempt to silence me. So in that process, they set up 5 different court cases. 2 Baker Acts, a risk protection order to take my weapons, a protection order, and then they've also been messing with my child custody case. So they went directly against that as well. I turned those cases that they built against me into evidence collection portals and weaponized the Florida state constitution against them in a manner where it essentially made it into their depositions. They had no option but to reply to me and dismiss the evidence I was bringing forward with cause through a show cause hearing, or push those allegations up for criminal charges. They didn't want to do that because the judges themselves are named in these felony complaints. So that created complete paralysis, but it also expanded the liability in a pretty big way. Any of these judges that touched this stuff and did not push it forward for charges are now involved in a RICO scheme, locked in. Now, the second thing that I did, this is different than what most people would do. They would go for a federal suit first off, hoping to get qualified immunity to go bye-bye for these cops. But I decided to go through the state level. I started suing individuals involved in this entire scheme in their individual capacities and layering RICO conspiracy statute-based lawsuits under Florida state law. That is what is locking them into this interlocking liability. So my ex-wife was sued for abuse of process. She is alleged to have committed perjury and pushed forward all these petitions under ulterior motives. It was all for child custody reasons. It was all for selfish ulterior motives. None of this was legal and none of it was done for a good reason. She has defaulted on those and other people are starting to default as well. Now, I have a 1983 suit layered into that as well that is another interlocking RICO scheme. When one person defaults on a RICO scheme, as soon as these start getting served, it locks the RICO conspiracy allegations into the other people that can afford to or can accept the fight for their freedom a little bit more than the others. So say my ex-wife defaults, the mental health facility defaults because they can't defend themselves. It's going to be $250,000 to just lose anyway. That locks it into the agencies themselves even deeper, and then it reopens more individual capacity lawsuits in that individual RICO scheme right back into the trial. So I've got them on all sides. If one defaults at the state level, it gives me evidence for the federal. If one defaults in the federal, it gives me evidence for the state suits that then go right back up to the federal and rope more people in. At this point, I have a giant federal RICO suit under 40 different defendants. 7 of them are agencies, 33 are private defendants that are going to have to hire their own lawyers to defend against this shit. So they're gonna default. I've already got defaults at the state level, and I'm building more RICO claims at the state level, so they just interlocked back and forth. I'm coming forward with the truth, and none of them seem to be able to defeat it. They're just fighting it through procedure. And that isn't going to work long term.